As of today, 219 days have passed since the national championship. We have 2 more days before college football Saturday. That's day 222. You know what you can get done in 222 days? Man, I got a lot done because nothing is going to get done from this Saturday until the end of the year. Welcome back to college football weekend this weekend, and welcome back to the midweek college football breakdown. My name is the AntMan. We got Brandon Stevens, got Dalton Miller back ready to make some bets on some picks, which we will talk about here in just a little bit. Before we talk one thing about football any further, I want to know who won in the golf playoff of who was buying who golf.
I got to buy Dalton's golf.
So you
already did. No, we did. We played in Corpus.
Okay. So
you're right.
Who won there?
Dalton did.
Okay. All right.
In his defense, though, I don't think he'd swung a club since he moved back to Corpus, right? So that
no, but I was hitting my drive straight.
Yeah,
my drives were on that day.
You weren't hitting them. You were hitting them into the sea wind, and they
honestly
brought. No, okay.
The wild thing
my drives were
was
straight.
The wild thing of the day was it was Clay's first time out, and the dude shot like 4 over on the first 9.
Incredible.
Yeah. His first time to ever play
rough, but the front 9, I was like, what is happening right now?
I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And he's played a lot more since then. He's really getting into it, and he's enjoying it. So
yeah, he got his courage up, like his self-esteem, and playing again.
Oh, he started talking trash on like hole 4. I was like, oh, here we go.
It's usually about that time when I start feeling good about myself that my entire game tanks. Hey, I'm going to remind you real quick of how bad you really are. Yeah. Here it is. That's what happens to me. To me.
I feel
kind of like the Sooners season last year. Some things look promising, and then about the time we felt maybe just a little bit of encouragement, there it all goes. There, somebody else got hurt. Another lineman goes down. Somebody we've never heard of is playing tackle this week. This year, I mean, we were looking at the roster today with the Brain Trust, the guys that we talk to over text every single week and talk trash with every single week. Excited to bring that back as well. Talking in that is this roster looks completely different than last year, and that's a good thing.
100% a good thing. 100% a good thing. We got a bunch of incoming freshmen that are going to get a lot of playing time. A bunch of them are starting. We got a bunch of transfers that are starting, that are in the 2 deep. Our offensive line is back together and healthy. Our wide receivers, they seem to be making really good strides. I'm excited about what's going to happen, but I just seeing is believing for me. Like I'm not diving too far in right here off the bat. There's going to be no hopium. That's what they call it on the radio, hopium. There's going to be no hopium coming out of my mouth until they can prove, and probably after week 2, we'll see what's going on.
Speaking of listening to the radio, you have a job that affords you the luxury to be able to do that while you do your work. I know Dalton and I don't get to do that. Tell me what the buzz feels like here the week leading into the very first game of the 2025 season, B.
Man, it's a lot the same as what I just said. I mean, especially from the media standpoint. Sure. They're all like, this is what it felt like last year, but they're also cautiously optimistic because they're like, we were injured like crazy last year. Before the season even started, we were missing like 6 starters before the season started last year. We've had a couple people get banged up in fall camp this year, but it's not been anything crazy. And I mean, it's a cautious, optimistic feel right now, but a lot of them are saying the same thing I'm saying. Seeing is believing. Yeah. Show me, don't tell me.
Yeah. Where you are, Dalton, how does it feel up there? You just kind of get the leftovers of the anticipation that happens in the conversations with B and some of the other guys in our text group. How's it feeling for you for this season? Does it feel a little different as far as the anticipation leading up to Saturday?
Yeah, let me tell you, I think it does feel different just because it feels a little bit like a make or break season for Venables, in my opinion. I mean,
not a little bit.
You can't come out and do what you've done the last few years, but also I think that we're excited about the fact that we know whether it's good or bad, there's going to be an identity on the offensive side of the ball, which we've lacked under Brent Venables 100%.
Big time.
So that's exciting. John Mateer, there's been a lot of talk. He's just won the locker room and he has a lot of moxie to him. And so when he steps onto the field, he's going to take control of things. And so that's exciting. But just talking football in general, being in Manhattan this weekend, dude, the buzz is there. The juice is there. I saw a lot of really upset Wildcats on Saturday afternoon, and it was a lot of fun, if we're being honest.
They could they could go into, they could be the only team ever to finish week 1 0-2. That's never happened. calling week 1 for 3 weeks long. They have 2 games during that time.
It's interesting because over the broadcast during the Ireland game, they kept calling it week 0, but that's the only time I had heard them say it.
Yeah.
At ESPN, Fox, the other schedules, they're calling week 1. It's like 17 days long or whatever it is. But over in Ireland, they kept saying week 0, but it made a lot of sense because, honestly, at the end of the day, when they showed the video interviewing the people in Ireland, what do you know about American football? What do you know about these 2 teams? They didn't know anything. So that's a pointless game.
No, funny thing I heard was that a couple of the bars had the Kansas State flag, not the Kansas State flag.
That's awesome.
Hanging in the bar, so the state of Kansas flag, because they ordered the wrong thing. They didn't know.
That's so
they had
funny.
The Kansas State flag, and they were like, "Yeah, we got the Kansas State flag."
That's something we would do over here in America. Yeah, look at it. Right. We got the place decorated. Look at it.
Hey, I want to go ahead and make my master lock, and it's going to be Iowa State to win outright against Kansas State in Dublin. Okay. Since it's week 1, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to get double points for that, right?
Okay, gotcha.
Wow, guy.
We will get to picks into master locks coming up here at the end of the show. We're going to introduce a couple of new things here in the podcast if you've watched in the past. Starting with the good, the bad, and the ugly. This week will be a little different than it will be in future weeks because we'll talk about the good and the bad and the ugly of the previous week's games. Since that really is the only game we had, that wouldn't be a lot of conversation. And probably the biggest ugly part is a family fighting in the parking lot, nearly drowning the other guy in the puddle out there is the biggest ugly out of that game. But I'll say, let's start here. We've got a lot of things that have changed in the offseason. One of those being new rules for 2025. And I'm going to give you a few of these and just kind of run over them. Then we'll come back and talk about them. The fake injury penalty has been changed. If a player appears injured after the ball is spotted, the team is charged to timeout. If no timeouts remain, 5-yard penalty. If it's on final 2 minutes, 10-second runoff. I think everybody kind of like, yeah, this whole faking an injury is passe. Overtime timeouts, change some of that. Replay review terminology. Officials are now only going to use the terms overturned or upheld. I think that's not really a rule, just clarifying some terminology as they are speaking, keeping it uniform across all the games. Kickoff return T signal. Now, guys know about this. I don't understand what this means. So maybe you can help clarify. If a returner gives the T like B is doing right now with her arms, the return is negated and play is whistled dead. That's different than a fair catch.
Not really. No.
Okay.
Not really. It's basically a fair catch. You'll see a lot in the NFL. They do the T a lot. In college football, sometimes they'll just let the ball bounce over their head and go out of the end zone or whatever. But
we usually only see that if they know the ball is going over their head. So my question to this is, what happens if the ball is short of them? And would that have changed things in the Hawaii game if he did the T rather than fair catch a bounce? That's where I don't understand the interpretation of this rule.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And something else I read, this just says if a returner gives a T. But I either read it or they were talking about it on the radio. If anybody on the field gives the T signal, the play's dead, and it's a touchback.
Anybody on the receiving side or just anybody on the field?
Yeah, anybody on the receiving side.
So if you have if it's an onside kick and you're the return team and you don't want to chance it. As soon as the ball's kicked, just give the T. Touchback automatically.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. There's a couple of these rules that are going to need
this is a rule I don't understand.
And we're going to have to see as the season progresses what actually happens with the rule.
I'm all about a good trial and error. Trial and error sounds fun to me. Let's do that.
We're going to guess this week at what they're going to rule.
As we get further down this list, you'll start understanding why we are bringing back a segment called What Pisses Brandon Off. We'll get there, but defenseless player expansion. Players attempting to recover a loose ball are now considered defenseless players and protected from targeting and hits. I've often wondered about this in recovering a fumble. And it's like, man, how has nobody just snapped an arm at the elbow? And maybe they have.
Yeah, because they're all diving in head first.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
And so that, I'm not sure how they're going to, really establish this rule or uphold it as they go along. We'll see. Again, trial and error. But this one, you can already see his face turning red. Roughing the passer adjustment. Contact with a passer in the act of throwing is roughing the passer, even if targeting is later overturned. This change is intended to bolster player safety by wrapping protective measures around the quarterback throughout his throwing motion, not just when the ball is gone. He's already hit the button. What pisses Brandon off? Have at it, my friend.
What are we doing? Like, literally, what are we doing? This is and trust me, the NCAA has done some really stupid things when it comes to football rules. This might be the dumbest rule I've ever heard. A quarterback, once he starts his motion for throwing, he is considered a defenseless player, basically.
You can't
hit him at all. You can't. And it says contact with the player. It doesn't say hitting the player in the head or neck area or hitting the player low. It says contact with the player. So does that mean that the quarterback goes to throw the ball and I swipe and I hit his arm, roughing the passer?
Sounds like it.
Like, what are we doing? Like, if you want to play tennis, go play tennis. You're not going to get body checked by the ball boy. Go play tennis if you want. Pickleball is a big thing. Go play it. I mean, this is football. All these lame quarterback rules protecting the quarterback. You can't go low on him. You can't go high on him. You can't hit him in the middle. I mean, give me a break. What's going to stop a quarterback from seeing that he's about to get wasted by a defensive player and he attempts to start a throwing motion and gets a penalty on the defense instead of a sack?
It's the Kenny Pickett fake slide.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
No, that was Jackson Dart, wasn't it?
No, it was Kenny Pickett.
Was it Pickett? Okay.
It was Kenny Pickett first. Jackson Dart may have done it later, but it was Kenny Pickett first. It just makes no sense to me. Like, that rule makes no sense. I don't get it. I will never get it. I'm not happy about it, as you can tell. But that's definitely what pisses me off about looking up the rule changes for 2025.
We see during practice, quarterback has on a Target jersey. It's a different color jersey than everybody else is wearing. That's the guy you don't touch. I think this rule is the step before that happening in a game.
Like,
getting closer.
Yeah.
The next rule that comes out is all quarterbacks will wear a different color jersey than the rest of his team, therefore allowing the defense understanding of who not to touch during a play.
Ridiculous. So ridiculous. And I mean, I only watched the Kansas State Iowa State game this week, and it didn't happen in that game. So it's going to be interesting for me to see if they really call this the way it's written. Maybe they don't, and maybe they have given the officials a little more clarity into the rule, and it's just written extremely vague, like we're reading here when we read this.
Sure.
But
see,
it's
I don't
going to
even
be
think
interesting
that's
to
okay,
see.
though.
I don't either. Write it the way it's supposed to be.
I mean, because, again, it's going to happen in a big game, in a big moment. Defense is going to make a perfect play, and they're going to bail the offense out. And that's just going to be the way it is. And then everybody's going to be mad that the head coach is livid. Well, And they're going to use the argument it's the way the rule's written, but it's not called consistently throughout the year, and it won't be. But it's only going to be called in those really big moments, and that's going to be the problem.
Yeah, it will be. There's some good and the bad, the ugly, mainly ugly there, especially with the last one for new rules for 2025. Let's jump over to the top 25. We've often talked about this throughout the season. What is it? Is it the first 6 weeks that it's all preseason polling, and then they start, or is it longer than that? Is it 8 weeks?
I think it's either 8 or 9 weeks before the playoff rankings come out.
So a lot of what we watch is just based on preseason opinion. And yes, when you get into the season, you get 3, 4, 5, 6 games down the line. You can kind of tell how it's going to start shaping up, at least for the picks. But right now, you have some teams, half the team are brand new players, but their team is getting ranked based off opinions. Give you a few of these. You can talk about some good ones that are ranked here, some bad ones that are ranked here, and just flat out ugly ones too. Number 25, Boise State. How y'all feeling about that one?
I mean, losing Ashton Jeanty is going to be really hard on them because
of what they did last year. Yeah, that's why they're in the top 25.
Yeah.
Number 24, Texas Tech.
I mean,
that one actually surprised me that they were even in the top 25. You think they belong?
Yeah. I mean,
it's hard to say because
it's so hard right now.
How well did they win the portal according to Big 12 standards? I mean, that's the whole thing. Is if they feel like they have a roster that can win in the Big 12, then maybe they're a top 25 team.
From where they started last year to where they show up in the preseason this year, number 23, Tennessee.
I'm okay with Tennessee being up there.
I'm fine with that. I mean, we'll see how this new quarterback's going to be for them. Losing Nico Iamaleava and bringing in the other guy, basically trading quarterbacks, but bringing in the other guy. We'll see how good they're going to be. It's all up in the air at this point.
We just saw these guys this past weekend. They are number 22 in the preseason top 25 and number 1 in the Big 12, Iowa State.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking the other team. I like Rocco. I like Rocco a lot. Dude's a gamer.
Yeah, Rocco Becht.
The tough part about this game, I really think the Ireland game is very stupid. I hope OU never plays in it. There's zero benefit to either team. Mm-hmm. If you win, yeah, great. You start your season out not just 1-0, but 1-0, 1-0 because you start out 1-0 in conference. But there's zero benefit to it, and each team had to work out kinks every single snap. I mean, if you in a world where you don't have to start out playing a conference opponent in week 1, why would you?
Yeah.
Until everybody has to do it, why would you do it? So I think that both of these teams are pretty evenly matched. Iowa State just made more plays, but I think Rocco Becht is a better quarterback than Avery Johnson, and that's an unpopular opinion where I live. But it's
not
true.
Unpopular with me. It's very true. Avery Johnson. Good Lord. AJ is all hype.
Yeah.
He's all hype. I mean, like you texted me during the game. He's making $1.5 million and he's got himself a purple Corvette out of the NIL deal. And this is what they're getting.
That seems to be more common all the time.
Yeah.
The second SEC team in the top 25 preseason, Ole Miss at number 21. Good there.
No problem with that.
Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't even be mad if they moved him forward up some. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen with a new quarterback and whatnot, but Lane Kiffin consistently finds ways to have an explosive offense, and 100%. I'm sure he'll do it again.
And always in the press. Number 20, Indiana. Fine.
I don't know. I don't know how good that last year was. Was it a fluke? How good they were to start the season last year?
I don't know, but they were so good at the beginning of the season last year,
but they didn't play a tough Big Ten schedule last year.
No, they didn't
at all, or a tough non-conference schedule last year. So it was in the big game when it was finally, they lost their first one, and it's like, okay, how good are they?
Yeah.
They outperformed what most people thought they were going to do, or it seemed like it every week felt like a surprise for Texas A&M at number 19 here in the preseason poll. Oklahoma at number 18. Is that too high for Oklahoma if a lot of these guys are basing stuff off of last year?
Yeah,
I think it's too high for Oklahoma.
But Oklahoma doesn't even deserve to be in the top 25.
I agree. And in the coaches poll, they're not. They're 26.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
I mean, go to Texas A&M. I'm a little bit surprised Texas A&M didn't get ranked a little bit higher than this.
Yeah.
And they got Marcel Reed coming back. He was a great quarterback.
Well,
the second half of the season.
Even if Oklahoma,
even if it's just one spot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, even if it's just one spot.
OU got ranked because of John Mateer and Ben Arbuckle.
100%.
But people are putting so much stock. Yeah, but people are putting so much stock into what he did at Washington State, which is awesome. He was a stud there, but he didn't play in a legit conference, and so we're about to find out what John Mateer is really made of.
Yep.
I'm going to run through a few of these here. Stop me if there's something you want to talk about on one of them. K-State at 17, SMU at 16, and Florida at 15. It'll
be interesting to see how good DJ Lagway is at Florida coming off the injury, because he was really good last year before the injury. And then once the injury happened, they just kind of went in the tank. So it'll be interesting to see how good he is.
We'll see these guys at home in week 2, Michigan at number 14. South Carolina at number 13, number 12, Illinois, and Arizona State at the number 11 spot.
Illinois makes no sense.
No, you're right.
Their 2 ranked games last year, they had Kansas, who they beat, and Kansas finished awful, and Nebraska, who they beat, and Nebraska sucked. Then they won the bowl game over South Carolina, but you can't consider a bowl game in anything because you don't even know who's playing. So I was shocked they were that far.
Well, and that's why they're ranked one spot ahead of South Carolina.
Right.
Which to me is dumb. I mean, South Carolina got Lenoris Sellers coming back. He's going to be probably a top 5 quarterback in the country.
Right.
And that defense that they have, I know they lost the one defensive end. I can't remember his name, but went early. But they still have the other defensive end. Their defense is going to be good. I'm surprised South Carolina, honestly, isn't moved up a little bit more.
Yeah. Because
I think Lenoris Sellers is the real deal. I think he's really good.
Top 10, starting with Miami. Number 9, LSU. Number 8, Alabama. Number 7, Oregon. Any feelings?
I'm just curious, how good is Carson Beck going to be in a new system?
Miami.
I think they have a chance to be good, and I think that he fits a little bit better in the ACC than he did maybe in the SEC. But yeah, there's a lot of unknown there because things didn't finish well for him in Georgia.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Notre Dame at number 6, Georgia kicking off the top 5 here. Number 4, Clemson, Ohio State 3, 2, Penn State, and number 1. Feels weird to put that next to this team. Texas.
That's fine. I'm fine with it. Let them be number 1 to start the season.
That's fine.
Yeah, let them be ranked number 1 and go get beaten at Ohio State this week.
Exactly.
Notre Dame is another one that I'm like, you're starting a sophomore quarterback to replace a veteran quarterback in CJ Carr. It's like, how do you know what they're going to be like? It's great that he got to sit, but I always think, so I get it. Sorry, friend down in Corpus. I always think Notre Dame is overrated, but this one, especially when I saw this ranking, I'm like, at that point when the rankings came out, they didn't even know who their quarterback was.
Yeah.
They were in a battle.
They hadn't named it.
Bizarre. Let's move over to the something new, kind of breaking news this week that SEC decided to do, not for this season, but for next season. And kind of breaking it before the season starts, obviously, going to a 9-game conference schedule and setting up every team with its own, what they're calling rivals. Really, you said it earlier in our text, Dalton, these are kind of pods, and who they designate maybe in an area or maybe some history, maybe possibly our only true rival is Texas now in the SEC. We've had some scraps with Missouri. Let's throw them in and then Mississippi State is Oklahoma's third one. How do you feel about that?
I'm okay with it being a permanent opponent. It's not a rival.
Yeah. No. Yeah, that's not a rival. But I looked through a bunch of the other ones too, and a bunch of the other pods.
Yeah.
There is 2 teams that could be considered a rival, and then 1 team that's not.
Yeah. And at least one team that truly is for most of them. I mean, Texas has Oklahoma and A&M. A&M has Texas, and Oklahoma, obviously Oklahoma and Texas. So at least those three teams that are around us, those are the ones that you go, okay, it makes sense they have those in their pods.
Yeah.
The rest of it, too, is that the 9 games, the way this works out is you play through the rest of the entire SEC teams every other year. So in a 2-year span, you played every team in the SEC at least once. Every 4 years, you played a game at home against that team, and you played a game away against that team. I'm actually excited about this. I know, Brandon, you have. I've never been to a game, and I don't think your game was an Oklahoma game at Kyle Field.
No, I went when my son lived there for a semester going to school. I went and watched him play like Western Kentucky Hill School for the Blind or something, and
they won.
They won, and it was crazy. But yeah, I mean that place is crazy to watch a game at.
I'm excited about that because I got to see. I played on the drum line at Oklahoma, and while I was there, we had A&M obviously come to Norman. It was a highlight as band nerds to see their band play. It was a really big deal and kind of just a lot of tradition and heritage in watching their band march, but never having had the chance to go to a game in College Station is going to be fun to be able to do in the next few years.
Yeah, it will be. It will be fun, and possibly next year.
Yeah, that's true. We don't know. We don't know if it's next year.
Possibly next year.
We do know that there is not a next year and not even a next College Saturday for one legend, Lee Corso, saying goodbye to ESPN College GameDay this Saturday. The first one of the 2025 season is going to be an emotional one this weekend, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's going to be an emotional one. I cheated and saw a couple of the tributes that people give to him.
Yes,
that they're going to show on Game Day, but I cheated and looked at a couple of them earlier today, and man, it is emotional. It is going to be emotional. I mean, shoot, I may crack a tear during it just because he's done this for 38 years, guys. He started in 1987
on that show. Yeah. Became he's the sole remaining original on-air personality from the show's launch. Unreal.
Starting in 1987. He's going to be obviously at the Ohio State or the Texas-Ohio State game. And Ohio State is a team that he picked the most. He picked them 45 times. He picked Texas 18 times. He has accumulated a 287 and 144 record in his headgear predictions.
Okay.
I mean, which for one a week, that's crazy that there's 400, 420. I mean, that's insane. But, he's a blast to watch. I love watching him. And I felt sorry for him for a long time. For the past several years, he's struggled really mightily. And Kirk Herbstreit's really kind of taken him under his wing and, calls him his second dad. And so it's been fun to watch. It has been kind of painful to watch the last couple of years because he has no clue what he's saying half the time. I love the dude, and I wish him all the best in his retirement. But he's definitely going to be missed. There's not anybody that's going to be able to just come in and replace him.
Two biggest highlights of that show is when it starts. And here, it's not the intro song. I mean, when it opens and you see the sea of fans that are leading up to the stage with their signs, often in the dark, and that buzz that's happening just gets you ready for the entire Saturday. And then the rest of it is good. And there's some high moments in the middle of it. And then tuning in right at the end before your game starts at 11 o'clock here, that you get to see his picks, and that's going to be missed after this Saturday with Lee Corso. But I do wonder what week 2 is going to look like, what the picks are going to look like.
Yeah, I mean, are they going to have somebody else doing a headgear? Are they going to start putting Pat McAfee in a headgear?
He's been taking on a pretty eccentric role.
He has. Maybe
when
it's
it comes to his
headgear.
picks.
Maybe it's just a tank top of whatever team revealing
Tank top or the logo spray painted on his chest.
Right.
Yeah, he'll do something crazy. And honestly, like they've built up to this because Corso hasn't made a head pick every week over the last couple of years. So it's been sporadic when he's made his big moments. And so, I mean, it sucks that he's not going to be there, but he hasn't been there consistent over the last couple of years.
You're right.
You see Pat coming in and taking on that kind of next role that everybody's like falling in love with for College Game Day. So I don't know if it's a pass the torch type of moment, but I feel like Pat's going to be like the next, everybody's excited to see his pick type of thing.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's just weird to think that nobody, not you, not Ant, not me, nobody has ever seen the College Game Day without Lee Corso on a regular basis.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. He's going to be missed, and it's going to be
been there since day one.
A celebration here at the Ant House. I'll have breakfast tacos rolling, ready to see Lee one last time, and
heck yeah,
see how that's all handled. It'll be a tribute to him, of course.
I think I'm smoking a pork butt this weekend. So
nice. Share picks.
I will. You know,
it didn't happen. As I mentioned at the top, 222 days, and we have college football Saturday back this weekend. Oklahoma's taking on Illinois State. Let's get into Oklahoma football talk here. Kicking off the season this Saturday from the Palace on the Prairie against Illinois State. Watch it on the new ESPN app, or ESPN Plus is what it used to be called. ESPN app, 5 Central. And nice that we get the first 2 games at home. I'm not hating that. That's kind of nice to be able to start what make up for a season last year that we've all agree is just like we're still shaking our heads about, and kind of excited to put in the rearview mirror. And we have a chance to do it here on game 1. And then if we can pull it out at home on game 2, it starts to feel like momentum happens early in the season for us, but it's one game at a time. Illinois State this weekend. Dalton, I want to start with you. Because you're the one the furthest away from the talk around Oklahoma on the radio. Just your gut. How are you feeling about this weekend?
Let me tell you, if I hear some stupid stuff after the game, we didn't move the ball downfield by design, I'm going to blow it, man. I want us to absolutely run Illinois State out of Norman. You don't have to go deep into your bag. Rely on the portal. Rely on the fact that you actually have some depth at the offensive line. You've got a gamer and a quarterback. You've got 3, I think, possible legit running backs. There's still some unknowns as far as who's going to step up at wide receiver. Obviously, Burks coming back and being healthy is exciting. I think he's a great slot guy. He's somebody that we're going to be able to rely on again. I mean, his first game in Norman, the dude had 6 touchdowns. Do we know how? No, I have no idea how, because Jackson Arnold was the quarterback. But, I mean, with Jean Mateer being back there, I think we have a legit chance to have an offense that can put some points up. But I'm real excited about the defensive side of the ball, especially we're so deep at defensive tackle. So deep. This Brent Venables defense, even minus a leader at the linebacker position in Stutzman, has a chance, I think, to be dominant. So it doesn't have to be flashy. You don't have to go deep into your bag this week, but go deep enough that you make a statement, not to anybody else but yourselves, that you belong on the field. You belong every single week as a competitor in the SEC, because it has not been that way under Brent Venables yet. And I want that type of feeling after Saturday night. It won't be if you blow Illinois State out, I'm not going to sit here and say, yes, finally, we're a competitive team again. That's not the case. But we have yet to, even blowing Tulane out, whatever we beat them by that year, it was an ugly game. I want to see clean football. I want to see a purpose with every snap, every possession. It's got to be a lot cleaner this year. And it's got to give us confidence going into Michigan. Because if we come out after last year and we don't have confidence going into the Michigan game, that's not going to be good news in Norman.
Not at all. B, how you feeling?
I mean, a lot the same. I will say you talked about we're not real sure what we're going to get in wide receivers. On my way home today, they were talking about Isaiah Satania, who is going to be our starting H-back, whatever. We have H, Z, and X. He's going to be our starting H. And apparently him and John Mateer have become super close and are making really good strides. Burks is obviously there. And we got Keontae Lewis and Ivan Carrion kind of on the other side. But we have a lot. My question really is at running back right now on the offensive side of the ball, because they have Javonte Barnes and Torrey Blaylock, the incoming redshirt freshman, ahead of Jaden Ott right now.
The number one running back in the portal, might we add.
Right.
So it's confusing for sure.
It is confusing. The confusing part to me is I thought maybe he wasn't going to start and get the start because he banged up his shoulder a little bit in fall camp. But then they have him as the starter at kickoff return. So
could that be part of what we talked about earlier, though? There's zero intention to let him return a kick.
It could. It very well could. And if that's the case, then I think it answers our question. And as long as Barnes or Blaylock don't just go have 250-yard games, then I think I'm kind of expecting him to be back and on top for the Michigan game. As far as the defensive side of the ball, the only questions I really have right now on the defensive side of the ball, I know we're not super deep at linebacker, but my biggest questions are at the cornerback position. Because we're not going to have Eli Bowen this week. He is not playing this week at all. We do have, sounds like Cortland Guillory, freshman cornerback starting on the left side. The right side is going to be Gentry Williams. We've been waiting on Gentry Williams to be healthy. He wasn't healthy hardly at all last year. Got to play some games. They talk like he is amazing, but we just haven't seen it. Are we going to have those cornerbacks that can keep up with big-time receivers? My questions for this week really, or what I want to see this week, I want to see a clean game. I want to see no stupid penalties. No, I mean, get a hold, you get a hold. I get that. But no dumb late hit penalties, no dumb turnovers. I want to just see a clean game. I don't want to see anybody getting beat coming out of some stupid zone defense and we get beat deep over the top and someone's running wide open. I don't want to see that. I'm excited. I'm excited more because it's just OU football.
Yeah.
I'm not, and I'm optimistic about this week. I'm not worried at all about this week, but I really am just cautiously optimistic about the whole season. And seeing is believing, show me, don't tell me kind of thing.
Yeah, they got Sategna also back returning punts, and maybe that's because Peyton Bowen's going to be injured. But we've learned over the past years that is such an important part of your team, and we've had under Brent Venables issues fielding punts. So that's another unknown. Like, you better have good hands. You better be able to catch it in traffic and not do anything stupid, because we've lost way too many fumbles on punt returns over the last 3 years.
Yeah. And one thing we hadn't brought up, either one of us talking about this, is the number one tight end on the depth chart that came out today. Jaron Kanak.
That
a linebacker for the last couple of years that we've been just waiting for him to show up at linebacker and waiting for him to show up at defense, has moved to the offensive side of the ball now. Apparently he's catching the ball great. He's mobile. He's super athletic. We'll see if he can block. That's my question with him. And that's where our tight ends have not been good in the past few years. We'll see if he can block.
Well, we know he's physical. That's not an issue.
He is physical, but can he get a low pad level and stay, in front of these guys and keep somebody on the end from coming? But
if he can't block because he's struggling with technique and getting to the right spot or whatever, that's one thing. And I think they can teach that. But we've had some tight ends over the past 2 years who couldn't block because they didn't have any business making contact with anybody. So I'm just excited that we have a linebacker that's going to go take someone down.
So over under on how many passes Jaron Kanak throws this year?
Throws, please 0.
I'm going to put it at 0.5 and I'm going to take the under.
Hopefully,
not like last year.
Now,
where tight end
now
like
I was going to say if we had last year's staff, then I mean, that's a different question. But
yeah, I'm excited to see the offense. I'm excited to see, the change of pace that he's going to do. He's going to run some fast. He's going to run some, at a normal pace. He'll slow it down when he needs to. I hope that we're blowing him out so much at halftime that we can actually see Michael Hawkins for a good chunk of the second half and see what it's like to have Michael Hawkins when he actually has been in an offense that is secure with a quarterback coach that understands the offense.
And healthy receivers.
And healthy receivers and offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait. 5 o'clock at Saturday. Can't get here fast enough. But
just since none of us are in Oklahoma now, I just want to give you an idea of what kickoff will be like. Just close your eyes for a second. Sun's going to be setting, and the temperature is 75 degrees.
They said that earlier today. I was like, no way.
75 degrees at kickoff.
They were also talking about there might be a chance of rain. Are you seeing that?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be raining most of the week, too, in Norman.
Yeah, it has been. Yeah, has been doing that. Looking forward to it, rain or shine. I hope you have a TV by your grill if you like to grill, because if you're going to be out there a lot, you're going to be not wanting to miss any action. It's going to be happening all day Saturday and Sunday, because it is also Labor Day weekend. So going to have some games on Sunday as well. We're going to get into our picks. Just give you a heads up. This is how it will all work every single week. We'll do picks that are worth 1 point straight up, win, loss. Who do you pick to win the game? If you get it right, you get a point. We get to Master Lock. If you win the spread, it's 2 points. If you have picked the underdog, you double your points. Did I get that right?
If you pick the underdog and they win outright.
Yes. And they win outright.
Not if they cover the spread. If they cover the spread, you just get the 2. If they win outright, you get 4 points.
There you go. Yep. That's how this is going to work. You guys ready? This is a little different than last year. I'm going to give you the games. You tell me who you pick. Brandon, let's start with you. Alabama versus Florida State, 2:30 on ABC.
And this is going to be the same for most of these. I'm just going to tell you, we don't know anything about these teams with the current, with the current portal stuff. And I'm going to pick Alabama. They're ranked number 8. Florida State's not ranked. I'm going to go with Alabama.
Dalton?
Alabama.
Okay. Dalton, starting with you, Montana State versus Oregon, 3 p.m. on the Big Ten Network.
Oregon to roll.
Okay. Brandon?
Same. Yeah. Oregon's favored by 29.5. They're going to tear this one up.
Brandon, North Arizona headed to Tempe to face Arizona State, 9 p.m. Central Time. Fine for them, 7 o'clock on ESPN Plus.
Arizona State. I know they don't have Cam Scatabo anymore, but Northern Arizona doesn't belong in the same stadium as they do.
Dalton?
I like Arizona State, and I like them as a sleeper in the Big 12 this year, too.
Yeah, I do, too. Dalton, Syracuse rolling into Rocky Top, face Tennessee, 11 a.m. on ABC.
Yeah, I like Tennessee to win this. I think that it's just going to be really tough to start your season out at Rocky Top. I think that there's always confidence, no matter who's their quarterback or how good they were last year. Tennessee is the type of team, they're winning the national championship every single year. So Rocky Top's going to be a tough place to win for Syracuse. Brandon?
There's a lot of questions in Tennessee right now. I mean, only ranked 24th. They obviously had the quarterback trade, quote unquote. Josh Heupel is like low key starting to get on the hot seat because they feel like they should really be moving up the list. I just think they're too much for Syracuse. So I'm going to go ahead and take Tennessee as well.
Okay. Brandon, LSU running up to Clemson, 6:30 on ABC prime time. What are you thinking?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I knew that was going to be one of the picks. That's a tough one. I think Cade Klubnik and that Clemson offense is really going to be clicking this year. Clemson always has a pretty decent defense. The question is, can Cade Klubnik outduel Grant Nussmeier, whatever his first name is, Nussmeier, at the LSU quarterback? I'm going to go ahead and take Clemson. To win that. That's a close one. I knew that was going to end up being one of them, but I'm going to go ahead and take Clemson.
Dalton?
I'm also taking Clemson in this. I'm going to rock Cade Klubnik and just his experience. And I think that they always have a chip on their shoulder going into the season playing an SEC team. And since it's not Georgia this year, I think they really believe they have, the team that can do it. They're confident to beat this LSU team. And LSU's just been way too inconsistent under, I'm blanking on his name, Notre Dame guy. But give me Clemson.
Kelly.
Yeah, Brian Kelly. So give me Clemson.
Clemson. All right. Dalton, Notre Dame headed to South Beach to face the Miami Hurricanes. That's going to be on Sunday at 6:30 on ABC.
Yeah, I'm going to rock with Miami on this one. I'm going to play the quarterback game here. The unknown of a sophomore quarterback to step into an offense that had a fifth-year veteran last year is just tough for me. And there's going to be high expectations for Notre Dame to repeat in a season I don't think they're going to be able to. So I like Miami and Carson Beck in this one.
All right. B?
I'm absolutely the same. I think Miami has a really good chance to play in the ACC championship game with Clemson and be Miami-Clemson in the ACC championship game. But maybe it's just my disdain for Notre Dame, but I am also going to take Miami to win that game.
All right. Last one. Brandon, Texas Longhorns, hurrying into the shoe to face Ohio State. What many believe should have been the primetime game is at 11 o'clock on Fox. And a real quick note before you give me your picks, if you have YouTube TV, you may not be able to watch this game. They just put out a notice that they haven't come to a deal with Fox, and that ends tonight at midnight. If they don't, Fox is gone from YouTube TV, and that game is gone from YouTube TV.
That's so stupid.
Way to watch it.
Yeah.
So who you think?
So dumb.
Horns or the Buckeyes?
I mean, look, this game to me, both teams are starting new quarterbacks. But Texas lost 4 out of their 5 offensive linemen. They only returned, I think, 2 or 3 of their 4 defensive linemen. I think this game is played in the trenches. I think Ohio State is going to dominate in the trenches. I mean, Arch Manning could be really good, could come out and have a great game. I'm just not buying it. They're going to be a seat. For me, they're going to be seeing as believing too with Arch Manning and that offense, especially with 4 new offensive linemen. I'm going to go ahead and take Ohio State at home in the shoe to beat Texas.
All right, Dalton.
Yeah, Texas Arch Manning will not do what Baker Mayfield did, go into the shoe early in the season and win. It's not happening. And why you're putting so much stock into a guy that we've never seen actually play blows my mind. Give me Ohio State and the Buckeyes to win in the shoe.
If that game is being won in the trenches, then so are picks this week. It's going to go down to master locks.
Yeah.
And because you are matched head to head, exactly the same. Now, if any week I would predict that would happen, it would be this week with the games that we have. There are a few that are, of course, key matchups. Excited about those. But let's head over to the master locks. And since we started the picks with Brandon Dalton, I'm going to start the master lock with you. What do you got?
I love it. I'm glad because when I pick mine, now he can't say that I just copied him.
It's going to be the same thing because we both already made this pick.
I'm taking Miami to
100%.
be the underdog pick over Notre Dame. I think that's a crazy spread for a quarterback that we've seen compete at a national elite level. Give me Miami plus 2.5 over Notre Dame.
Copy and paste?
Copy and paste, 100%. As soon as that was one, I knew that was one of the games, and I was like, maybe he's going to pick Notre Dame. Please pick Notre Dame, because I knew if we both picked Miami, that was going to be our master lock.
Now, before we leave, you've done this in the past. Let's go ahead and pick the SEC champion and the national champion here before we jump into weekend 1 of college football. Brandon, let's start with you on this one.
I mean, it's so hard. It really is so hard at this point. I'm gonna put Georgia and LSU in the SEC championship game. Is that what you're doing too, Dalton?
I'm doing
That's what you're doing too. I'm having Georgia and LSU.
I'm doing Command C real quick. Hang on. Command C. There we go. Got it.
I'm going to put Georgia LSU in the championship game, and I'm going to go ahead and take Georgia to win the SEC. My national champion this year, this is a tough one because I think there's a team or two out of the Big Ten that can probably get there too. But I think I'm going to roll with Georgia the whole way, honestly.
Dalton? I don't know what else to say.
Sorry. Hang on. Let me do Command V. Got it.
Yeah. Command V.
Is it not like crazy that like we're obviously OU fans and we hate Texas, but I think that for the first time, all of SEC outside of Texas is on the same page. Why is there so much stock into this Texas team with a quarterback who has never done it before? And I get it. I get his name. He's a Manning. Okay, that's awesome. But they have the greatest odds to win the SEC. They've got some of the highest odds to make the Final Four of the playoff and get to the national championship. And it makes no sense to me. If they do it, then all right, you deserved it. But what have you done to prove to anybody that you're going to get there when Georgia is year in and year out, regardless of who their quarterback is, finding a way to win? I mean, Kirby Smart is arguably one of the best right now in the game, and it's hard to bet against him.
Yeah, my whole deal is if Arch Manning is this good, why couldn't he beat out Quinn Ewers?
Which some thought last year he should have.
Seriously. I mean, they're talking about Arch Manning is the second coming of whoever you want to call as the greatest quarterback of all time. They're saying that he is. So if he was that good, why couldn't he beat Quinn Ewers out?
Yeah, I don't know. Are we picking the other conferences too? The other Power Fours or no?
Well, it's all the same. Just say what you think, and then I'll tell Brandon, or you can tell Brandon, I'll put it on his list.
Well, I've got Arizona State to win the Big 12.
There you go. Nice.
And I've got Ohio State to win the Big 10 and Clemson to win the ACC.
Yeah, got it.
Command V. This is crazy. We've never been this close on every.
We really haven't. We haven't. But that's how much harder it is in college football because when you don't truly, when you're picking programs
you're picking off of programs,
that based on the portal. I mean,
you're just picking programs and what they've done in the past because we have no clue what's going to happen this year.
I thought it was interesting. Speaking of the Big 12, though, they mentioned I watched the media days, and then they also interviewed Arizona State Saturday morning, and they mentioned multiple times Arizona State has a chance to be the first team since OU to win the Big 12 back-to-back. And so thought that was interesting.
Yeah. I just don't know if they can – I question whether they're going to be able to do it without having Cam Scatterbo just
dude was a dog.
Them all riding his shoulders.
Yeah.
Because he put them on his back for so many wins last year. It's crazy.
Room for somebody else to step up. This is the time.
Got to be.
Day 222 this Saturday. Excited for it. Week 1 is in the books for us. Already excited for week 2 because that means we have a weekend of college football under our belt and we have a lot more to talk about. So looking forward to next week already, guys. Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a heck of a season. I'm glad it's here. 222 is way too many. You think we can do this and do it right the first time? I don't know, guys, but you know what they say, right? The weekend is good, but the midweek is always better.
And boom goes the dynamite.